All right. We recently had the opportunity to speak with another head football coach, Matt Wells at Utah State, about what this BYU-Utah State game in 2016 means to his program. They're 3-8. They've had a really tough season, suffered some brutal last-second losses, have had some issues with time management. But here you go. Matt Wells trying to get his team amped up for another big game in Provo. And if you remember, last time he was here, they left as the victors. Matt Wells, Utah State head coach on BYU Sports Nation. Coach, the last time Utah State visited Provo for a football game, the Aggies walked away with a tremendous victory for the program. What does Utah State need to do to replicate that result in the regular season finale on Saturday night?
Well, we're obviously going to have to be fast starters. We're going to have to take care of the football. They've done a tremendous job on defense with all the interceptions and forced turnovers, of creating turnovers and momentum for their offense. And so that's been part of their recipe for success. And so we can't give the ball up. We have to be stingy with that and find ways to slow Taysom and Jamal down and those guys on offense.
Speaking of Taysom, I just want to make sure, just out of precaution, that Brian Sweet did in fact graduate, does not have any extra eligibility, and will not be at the game at all, on the field or in the stands.
I can confirm that he did graduate, and I can confirm that he doesn't have any eligibility or he'd be starting for me.
Okay.
But I can't confirm if he won't be at the game or not. That's, I know what you're referencing, and that's very unfortunate, obviously. Kind of weird a little bit.
Yeah, it was weird. And I know Brian Sweet's a good dude, and
no,
it was
he's a great dude.
Just weird that he ended up being the guy that injured Taysom Hill in 2012 and 2014. And speaking of injuries, I think it was 2 years ago, Remington Peck, told us in an interview that Chucky Keaton wasn't going to play. And then we talked to you, and you said, I don't know what you're talking about. And then Chucky didn't play. So Kent Myers, he's good to go, right?
Yes.
Matt Wells with us on BYU Sports Nation, the head coach of Utah State football. In your opinion, Coach, how does Taysom Hill look in the pro-style offense compared to the few times you've seen him before?
Well, it seems as though he's staying a little bit healthier. They're running the ball really well, and that always takes a little bit of a load off a quarterback. And if he doesn't have to run it as much in quarterback-designed runs, whether it's split zone quarterback counter, quarterback draw, you name it, zone reads, triples, those kind of things. It takes a little bit of a load off of them, and they don't get hit as much. And the hits that he already takes in the pocket, and when he scrambles, already add up. And so I think probably a little bit fresher Taysom at the end of the year.
Coach, I was impressed by the press conference Monday with your team. You look at your record and you see 3-8, but that doesn't really tell the story. The fight in your guys has been tremendous, and there have been some close down-the-wire losses, especially the last 2 weeks. What does it say about your team that they have battled despite some adversity this season?
They have battled, but despite a lot of adversity. We've got five losses in Mountain West play by 29 points total, and that's all one possession ball games down to, the middle of the fourth quarter, or the last 2 weeks, buzzer beaters, last play of the games. And it's unfortunate and it stinks, and people are frustrated and disappointed. But the thing is I've got so much respect for this team and this group of seniors. They continue to battle and invest and put it on the line emotionally and physically every week to try to get a win. And that'll serve them well in life. It's unfortunate we're not winning games this year and that we've missed out on some of those opportunities. But to see the way that they handle themselves on the field by competing and as well as off the field and what you just referenced, I think it's refreshing. And I think it's I think it's big time by them.
What does this specific game to close out the regular season mean to your team?
Well, it means a lot. It's a rivalry game. It's an in-state rivalry. It means a lot to us as a program for the Wagon Wheel. It means a lot to our in-state players. Certainly have a lot of respect for Kalani, Sataki, that whole staff. Coached with some of those guys in the past, and so you have friendships. You got high school teammates and cousins and things like that playing against each other, and it's big for us. And our out-of-state guys, and I was one of those guys, 20 years ago, you grow to respect and appreciate the rivalry. And so I certainly know that it's a big game to us.
And you played in one of the classics, that 93 game where John Walsh said BYU. John Walsh set the BYU passing record with 619 yards. This game's going to be cold, Coach, like really cold. Are you a guy who encourages no sleeves with some Vaseline, or are you like, no, just bundle up?
There'll be some guys that do both. I don't encourage or discourage one way or another. It's an individual deal. I know we'll have linemen, absolutely, and D linemen go out with nothing on. I'm sure there'll be some receivers in corners that have turtlenecks and tights on and those kind of things, sleeves.
Coach Matt Wells of Utah State football with us on BYU Sports Nation. When you have a game during Thanksgiving week, what is your advice to your team as they go home for what is the most talked about meal of the year, or they stay in Logan? What advice do you give to them?
In terms of what?
How much to eat or how much to not eat?
Eat. I mean, these guys, I think we do a good job with nutrition and trying to, coach them up the right way and everything, but it's Thanksgiving, eat. And everybody's going to do that, so I'm good with it. I mean, it's late in the season. These guys' metabolism burns a lot. It's going to be cold, like you said. I mean, your guys, the shape and how good a shape you're in and all that doesn't figure into the last game of the year because you're already in good shape. These guys need to eat and relax. And a lot of the in-state guys will be around family and have out-of-state players with them at their homes, and time to relax and I think reflect, and we can all be thankful and again humbled by the opportunities that we have in front of us, the things that people have done before us to give us these opportunities in this country, first of all at this school at Utah State. And I think it brings that, although we should do it more often, it is obviously a holiday that I think merits a lot of reflection, and so we'll take some time to do that and then get ready to roll on Friday.
Matt, do you care when this game is played on the schedule? Do you have a preferred week of the season?
Well, some of those things as a head coach gets told to you, when the athletic directors meet and put the schedule out. This, in terms of how our season has unfolded, fits perfectly for us in terms of a last game, a rivalry game. Certainly, when we play it typically, and it's going back to this format of Friday night of conference weekend in October, we're able to play that game. It's a big game. We typically have one or two Mountain West games before it, maybe just one, and then you kind of focus on your Mountain West season. And so I think that has its advantages as well, too.
Follow him on Twitter at Coach Wells, USUFB. Matt Wells, the head coach of the Aggies, with us on BYU Sports Nation. And Matt, you seem like a guy that would throw for like 1,000 yards in a turkey bowl. Are you a turkey bowl guy?
No, but I know Elisa Tuiaki is your defensive coordinator. So I'd be looking around the parks and maybe some fields in Provo on Thursday for the Tuiaki family turkey bowl.
He's playing tackle, and he's going to have like 7 sacks, right? He's that guy.
It's a mix between tackle, football, and rugby. Trust me on that. I've seen it. I've seen it here at Maverick Stadium when he was an assistant here.
Coach, we've got nothing but respect for you. We appreciate the time. You're a class act all around, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Same to you. Thanks.
Okay.